Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Hello and good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio. Tonight you've been joined by myself, GB, and our very own Jack Sparrow, Port Bear. And the union rep for tonight is Albert, keeping us in check. How are we doing, boys? Welcome to the show.
Hi, cheers, GB. Great to be on. And this fine Thursday night, weather's still good, still enjoying it. Popped up my tan as always, mate. You know me. But good to be on with the boys.
Albert, how's you, mate? He's probably been enjoying the long walks for a while.
Aye, I'm back. I've done a bridge then. I'm fine, mate. I'm fine. How are you used to?
Well, life-wise, mate, all right. Rangers-wise, the usual, mate. The kind of standard is concerning again. So we'll
see. That's what we do. That's what we differ, mate. Rangers is my life.
True. We'll dive into obviously the things that's been going on tonight. With Russell Martin, again, he's not been the kind of choice port. He's not been the first choice, but the results again have no helped him. The kind of lacklustre urgency to signings for Russell Martin to build this so quickly. I mean, we've been talking to Albert the day. Had obviously a wee chat to yourself as well, Port. And for yourself, Port, you've been quite positive about Russell Martin. You've been kind of in his corner a lot of it, but I felt the other night there that was kind of a wee bit of a turning point for you. And then Albert, you've said it true, mate. Like we've seen this movie before. Does sacking a manager actually help the club build something? I mean, you again big advocate for Clement with that. And the other big man was there at the game the other night, seen that, and you tend to wonder, did we pull the trigger too early on that one as well? So loads to talk about, and loads to kind of not just jump in and say, we're going to stay sack the manager. We've got to kind of be, I think, a bit constructive about it and think what is going to be best is an opinion for ourselves. So for me, I'm in the kind of corner where that the league is where I want to see the improvement with Russell Martin. If the league games don't improve, for me, I always feel that Rangers should be a level above every other club in our league. And that's my kind of opinion. If we're drawing or losing to these teams, then I see it as a big hindrance. I don't see that as you doing your job, basically. So, Port, kind of over to you, mate. Tell me how you're feeling about obviously the other night, and then obviously where you're at with Russell Martin.
Well, obviously, as Russell Martin was my first choice a manager, mate, right? But when I done, as I always do, put my analytic on and started digging into what he'd done at his previous clubs, MK Dons, etc., and Southampton, Norwich, etc. It was a case of, he stuck by his philosophy, stuck by what he was trying to put across, and on these occasions, and in particular.
Oh, sorry, Paul. I think you're cutting out a wee bit there, mate. Maybe what today's do, maybe just drop out and just come back in. I'll go to Albert now for you, bud. It's just that you're cutting in and out there with your points, bud. So I'll get the techie team in the background to bring you back in, mate, just so we can hear you loud and clear. All right. Albert, mate. Let's say you made a couple of great points, I think, this morning, mate, when we were having a wee chat. I think, obviously, I'm just probably sick of seeing the kind of same old movie a lot of the time, and I just want a bit of stability. I want results. I want to see something that I can get behind. But unfortunately for me, this seems to be that same old thing where we're again shooting ourselves in the foot. We've not been ready for the start of the season. We're going up against teams like Motherwell. We're sitting cruising at 1-0. We allow them back in. And then you've got the likes of the Dundee game. And then what we've seen at the European stage. Now, for that side of things, European, I think like everybody says, it's the gravy and all that. So I'm not overly bored about making the Champions League, to be honest. But it's the league. It's the way we're setting up already in the league. Albeit that's my kind of main concern, mate. Over to you.
I mean, I can't disagree with any of that. I mean, it's all true. It's we've seen the movie that many times. But the stability one, I would slightly disagree with the stability. We're definitely, the club's definitely stabilised, mate. There's no doubt about that. So that's one off the board. We don't need to worry about that as much as we usually do. You know what I mean? It's we're stabilised, and that's good. The football is crap. We know that. And we're not playing. We're not playing well is an understatement, mate. We're just absolutely hopeless at the moment, and not just in one thing, in multiple things all across the board. And inevitably it comes down to the manager. It will always come down to the manager. What my problem? I'm right on the fence with it, mate. I'm not going either way with it anymore. I'm just sitting there saying, if I'm pushed to say, do you want them sacked? No. I'm saying no. Do I want to continue watching this style of football and what he's trying to do? No. I don't want that either. It's for people inside Ibrox to say to him, are you going to sober up here and say to yourself, you need to show some improvement here. Now, I don't care about how fancy we play and how if we're getting better or look better. That's nothing to do with what I want. I just want him to start winning games, mate. And if he starts winning games, the mood will lift. The call for his head will slacken off a bit. And he'll get a bit of breathing space. But it's the only way he's going to do it, mate. There's nothing else he can do to afford himself more time. He's got to start winning games. It's as simple as that. Any way possible, win games. Starting with St Mirren. Now, if you're asking me, are we going to beat St Mirren this Sunday? Are we confident beating? No way, mate. No way. This team is not playing well at all. But one thing I would say is, I said it before earlier tonight, if I was Stuart and I was Thelwell, I'd be taking him up the stairs and just having a meeting with him, look, and telling him, look, we're not interfering in your football. You're the boss. You're the boss when it comes to the football. We're not telling you how to set teams up or anything like that. But what I'm going to ask you is, you need to show the support one bit of improvement, because we don't see any improvement whatsoever. Jack Buckland's on form. As a goalkeeper, as a shot stopper, he's on form. Stop trying to make him into a sweeper keeper, because he's never going to be that. But the one I would start fair base, mate. One thing, right? Start defending corner kicks properly. I mean, that's a fix you can do right away. We want to see them set up properly to defend corner kicks. Martin's space is a load of nonsense, mate. That zonal crap never works. It never works for anybody, mate. I've never seen a team playing that zonal crap and playing it well. It's just nonsense, total and utter nonsense. So that's what I'd be saying to him. You need to show week on week improvement. Start with your corner kicks, and that's us not telling you how to set your team up. But you can improve at corner kicks, mate. Nobody's trying to take over and pick teams for you and things like that, and players your way you should be playing players. That's your choice. That's always going to be the manager's choice. But it needs to show improvement, mate. And we don't see any improvement anywhere on the park. So he's got a problem with his keeper, trying to turn him into a sweeper keeper. He's got a problem with his defence, with people all playing out of position and not all too young, sitting there inexperienced all over the place, and they're too quiet. They don't talk to each other. They don't even look if they know each other. Your midfield's all wrong as well. It's just not working. And then you've got up front, and you're saying, well, you've got two good wingers that you're barely bringing into the game, and you've got a centre forward that's non-existent. And it doesn't matter who you put through that middle, they're non-existent. Why? Because of the way you play. If you picking a team for, I'll tell you to do, picking a team for Sunday, I'm telling you, it'll be Butland. Right back, don't care. Two centre halves, don't care. Left back, don't care. Midfield, don't care. Through the middle, centre forward, don't care. Ant-Man on the right and Gasman on the left. That's my team, mate. It's just that bad. We don't care all these positions. There are only three people that have done anything that have any note this season is the three I just mentioned: Butland, the Gasman, and Ant-Man. And Ant-Man now is getting dragged on into this nonsense because he doesn't know when to press. He's looking at people and going, he's trying to do a press for 30 yards away from a player. It doesn't work, mate. It's nonsense. That's bad coaching, mate. It's got nothing to do with being a bad team. That's just bad coaching. Butland's playing under instructions, come out. Kelly done it against Alloa. Come out. He's trying to turn these keepers into sweeper keepers. It's not going to work, mate. These players can't play like that. He's got to accept it and say to himself, right, okay, I want them to play like that, but they're not going to play like that. So tell them not to play like that. That goal we lost against on Tuesday night there, that was down to coaching, mate, as well. He's coming out. If Butland just does what Butland does, the Jigger clears that all day long. All day long. He's been doing it since he came in. He just tidies that up. No bother, takes it in his stride. But he looks up and sees the keeper coming charging up. And then he just turns away. That's his fault. He turns away and doesn't notice that Mr. Indecisions went, I'm not coming out. I'm going to stay here now. So the guy just walks between the two of them and just scores out. He took the goal well. You've got to give the guy credit for that. But at the end of the day, it's bad coaching. There's nothing else you can say about it, mate. It's bad coaching. One of the things they should ask him, GB, in the interview, instead of saying when is the team going to get better, you ask him, when are you going to get better? Or you see improvement you need to do? Instead of just saying, we as a team need to improve. No, you need to improve as a coach. When is that going to happen? Because at the moment, you're not getting nothing out of this team. And we're sitting, and it's there. Everybody's wrong, but you're right. Is that what you're trying to tell us? Everybody, 30, 40, 50,000 people are all sitting watching a crap game of football, players struggling in positions and struggling to play the way you want them to play. We all see it, but you say it's right. We all say, that's not right. That doesn't even look right. But you're saying it's right. So something needs to give somewhere. Somebody needs to talk to somebody eventually and say, this has got to stop. That we'll wait to see what happens. And we're going out there on Sunday, hoping we're going to play better. That's all we're doing. We're going to get there hoping we're going to play better. We've no reason to think we're going to play better because we've nothing to grab onto, you know what I mean? We just get very little. The gas man, I'll guarantee you St Mirren will take care of him on Sunday because that's the only threat they really need to bother about. So they'll go up, just close him down, and that's it. That's basically the end of Rangers if you close him down. That's how simple this game on Sunday's going to be. If we carry on playing or doing what we're doing, that's how the Sunday's game's going to be pan out. Sorry, mate, ranting again.
No, not at all. Or that I'll be just before I go to the port, or that will be the case of the usual St Mirren. They'll sit in for 80 odd minutes and then they'll go for it in the last 10 just to sneak either a win or a draw. You know what I mean? It's the typical them. The day, it says play a physical game, but they seem to always, like you says, just manage the game and starve the game of any quality. And this is again where this is our manager's really got to pick it up. Port, you were talking about how you looked into his tactics and stuff like that, and as Allbear's touched on, it's really down to him now. He's got a decision to make. He said before in some interviews where he's learned his lessons and stuff like that, and maybe had to bring in some more dark arts and stuff. But I don't think it's the dark arts. I think he just needs to get these players playing football. All this, like Allbear's saying, this whole thing about instruction and all the rest of it, he's getting them all confused. That, like he said the other night, that first goal, I mean, just it's horrific. I mean, and again, that's coming for no gain proper. If you're going to give instructions, just say, look, if in doubt, I want you to put it in Rose's head. If you're not sure that one of your pals are doing, just grab the ball and blast it into Rose's head and regroup. But no, they're like that. They're too scared to go into the changing room at half time and get a rollicking for no following instruction because he's already called them out in that Port Bear, the muddle. So I don't think us as fans really need to start no turning up to games and calling for the guy's head. I think he's got to do it all by himself. I think he's got to end up getting himself sacked with sticking to this formula, Port Bear.
Aye, sorry about that, mate. As I was saying in regards to the Southampton, that's when I felt I watched that period and I sort of looked back on quite a lot of the games and he got after a poor start with Southampton. But once they got to grips with what he was asking and he added the quality that was needed to play them positions, the guys, because right now I still feel we're putting, square pegs in round holes. This left back problem, still the right side's still a problem for me. And we've got Ant-Man just in the door, but the guy's still learning the Scottish game. And what I think has been found out already, GB and Albert, I think teams now have worked out already, because if you look what Motherwell did, if you look what Dundee did, the blueprint has been left on how to stop Rangers. Let Rangers have the ball and sit deep and we'll counter them. If you deny Rangers space and grass in behind, Gasman and Ant-Man are no good, because what you're looking for then is somebody like an Asgard or a number 10 like player, like the guy that's going to break the lines and go beyond the striker. Because last night, that goal for Bruges the other night, sorry, that comes with Danilo lost the ball at the edge of the box. He lost his fight. The old saying goes, defend for the front. He lost his fight against the centre back. Centre back, he dinked up. Giga totally underestimates where the ball is going, looks over his shoulder, maybe presumes that Butland's coming for it, and next minute Butland's in no man's land and gets lobbed. You know what I mean? That's where that came from the other night, mate, because we're so disjointed. I've got a real problem, mate, with how far apart our midfield is. I think at times when we've got like 5 men out of the park trying to, hem them in, we're playing. I think sometimes we're playing far too high a line. We've not got enough pace in the back, because we are trying to condense and squeeze them into their own half, which is fair if it's working. But when you've got 11 men behind the ball like it is in your league domestically, mate, it's dangerous, because they'll sit and defend all day. Ibrox is not a fortress. And what got me, the Dundee game, mate, and this has still been in my brain for the Dundee game, their bloody captain stood near pitch after an interview and went, we came and had a go. We knew we could hit Rangers in a counter attack. We didn't fear coming here. And he's not the first person I've heard saying now that people are not fearing coming to Ibrox. I mean, Alloa set up to come and have a go. I think he beat 4-2, mate, but Alloa scored 2 goals against a team that's got, but in budget terms, it's like, you know, it's astronomical in budget terms. But even Alloa were brave enough to go, let's have a go at this mob, because they're on a sugary peg. Now, my problem is with Martin is, mate, right now, and I'm never one. Everybody that listens to the show, Albert, you know what I'm like as well. I will back the manager to the hilt, because if I see tactically what he's trying to do, I'll continue to back him, and I'll back him, and I'll back him. But I'm not seeing improvement, Albert, in GB. I'm still wondering what's going on. And the biggest thing I think is he's not got the quality of player that's needed to play the formation that he's trying to implement. That's what I think the biggest problem is, mate. And the Americans are, people say they've not backed him, They've given him 9 players. Granted, 2 only his. And there's still a lot of players there, in my opinion, that need to go out the door, not just for financial reasons. I just think there's too much, too many bad apples in a barrel, and you know, it can affect the squad, guys. It can affect the squad. One bad apple in a squad can affect the teammate, because that them players or a player could have such an influence, that it affects the new guys. Do what you want, do what I tell you, what he tells you. Captains sometimes have a lot of power. No, I'm not blaming James Tavernier for 1 minute. I'm not saying that's what he's doing. I'm not. But what I'm saying is, I still think there's far too much of the squad that have been that have let us down so many times. They've got a lot of scar tissue for bad results, losing in semi-finals, losing in finals, losing games at big moments when Clermont season where we should have won the league. Guys that again, scar tissue let us down time and time again. I think there's still a lot of that in the squad, mate. And until we get rid of that, and Russell Martin gets 100% of the players that he wants. I think he'll be given time, guys. Albert, I'm going to say it here and now. I think he will be given time. And the reason I think that is because I think if you're, Kevin Farewell, you're Andrew Kavanagh, etc., they'll be like, look, not back the guy fully yet because we can't, because we've still got a lot of, high earners on the wage bill that we need to get rid of. And that is having an effect on who we can bring in. One of the biggest things I think we also lack is experience. We've got a hell of a lot of young boys in that team that's expected today, play a big role in one of Europe's top sides. They've not felt this pressure. They've not played for a club that has to win every week. It's a whole different world coming from where Gassama's came from, Asgard's came from, etc., etc. And one of the biggest things that I think, it's only an opinion of mine, by the way, I think one of the biggest mistakes we made for £2 million, guys, was not going getting the guy Connor Cody, because the level of experience he had and the way our backline is right now, he would help guys like Giga, he would help guys like Aarons, he would help guys, even Yefty, who's I know he's there and I know he's gone now, but what I'm talking about is an influence like that. Now we're expecting that off Rothwell as well, because Rothwell's a certain age that he should be an influence in the midfield area on improving guys and making standards and laying the standards down and barking orders, etc. But I think we still lack a lot of experience through the spine of the team, mate. I know we've got Butland, but the defence, in my opinion, guys, is a shambles, and I don't see. A lot of people used to slam Connor Goldson about his ability and stuff, but boy, could he organise? He was a great talker. You could see on the pitch he was constantly barking orders, getting shape right. That's what we missed, and I think to lose a guy for £2 million to Wrexham, I think that was absolutely suicidal, boys. I do that's just one wee thing I think he got wrong, but. That year, as I said, particularly at Southampton, if he didn't get after that slow start, they would have won that championship outright. And I believe that, because he eventually, when it clicked and he got the players that he wanted, they went on a run.
Oh,
And as that drop, guys, they would
aye.
have won that outright. You know what I mean, GB?
Mm-hmm. Aye.
So I'm still the same, mate. I'm still saying patience is needed, because I still think that the experience signings have not been made yet, guys. We've bought players that are young, raw, hungry, and ready to go, but we need a quality that's experienced, GB.
Aye. Well, it's that's probably a talking point, is the recruitment side of things, and there's people in charge of that now. So it'd be good to hear our fans' point of view, where we all at. So let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
That's it. It is a phone-in show. Like it says, it's the only one that is free to phone in. So like it says, give us a wee call. Let us know what your opinion is on the team. Where are we going with Russell Martin? He's past the threshold, the point of no return, or are you in the kind of boys' camp tonight where like it says that Russell Martin will get time to build something that we'll eventually be proud of. But Albert, back to yourself, mate. You touched on it with the tactics. Is it the case of a couple of tweaks and the rest of it will take care of itself, or is he needing to just kind of settle things down in the sense that he does the old Walter Smith way, sit in a lot of the time, banks of 5, and then let's say we'll scrape results 1-0 then out to give him some time?
That's a sensible thing to do, mate. That's what I've said. Make yourself hard to beat. We need to make the team hard to beat, mate. Start off simple. I mean, you need to start showing improvement somewhere along the line. His tactics, there isn't any tactics, mate. We're shambles, a total shambles all over the place. So there's no tactics, right? So we can forget about tweaking anything because there's nothing to tweak. At the end of the day, you need to make yourself hard to beat because the team is lacking in quality players all over the place, mate. We're lacking in quality players. You've got some decent players, but you've no real quality players. Wee Gasman could turn into a real quality player. Even the Ant-Man might turn into a quality player. They're not there yet. They're good players, but they're not there yet. So you're looking all over the park and saying, where is the quality? Raskin thinks he's a quality player, but he's not really a quality player, mate. He doesn't control a midfield. He doesn't look if he's got control of the game at any time, mate. He charges about a lot and he works hard, but that's about it. When he says a quality midfielder, he goes into the Belgian national team, he's got to sell into there. He's got quality players on about him. So he makes a big difference in there because all he's doing is winning the ball, recycling it and giving it to the football players. And that's what he's supposed to be doing with us. Trouble is, we've not got the football players to get to. And that's our big problem. At the moment, he should be making us hard to beat and getting himself right. Okay, I need to get a centre forward as a matter of urgency. And then you've got your two wingers. You've actually got 4 wingers now. Boy Cortez, I know they all don't like. All the boys need is lacking confidence. He just needs a couple of goals, a couple of things to go his way, and you'll see a completely different player. He's just devoid of confidence at all. It's a shame. You've got the wee boy Moore and you've got the Ant-Man and Gasman. So you've got them. You've got Asgard as well. And you're looking at and saying, these players, you give them a platform to go and play football. That's what you need to do. Create a platform for them to go and play football. A defensive platform. Make yourself hard to beat and let these boys go and do their thing. Then you'll see a difference. You will see a difference, mate. Then teams will start to fear you going like that. Well, you go to Ibrox, you're not going to run out of the tap room. As for St Mirren, by the way, they're not going to sit in you. They're going to come at you. They've done it last year. They'll do it this year again because there's nothing changed for last year. They're going to fill the park up the way they done it at Ibrox last year and just ragdoll us all over the place, mate, especially in defence. And that's what happened last year. If you remember at Ibrox, it was a young boy in salary get ragdolled a couple of times for a couple of goals. And they're going to do the exact same because there's no physicality. There's no badness in our team. It's just nice guys again, full of nice guys. And there's no. And one of the things Martin said when he came in at first, we're going to run harder and fight harder, last longer than any other team. That's just gaslighting, mate. That's absolute crap talk. We're watching it and going, we're not running faster than MD. We're not running stronger than MD. We're no lasting longer than MD. It's nonsense. It's complete and utter nonsense.
And it's something to put up in the wall as well in the dressing room for the opposition, isn't it? Is that right? Well, we're just going to batter you a day, isn't it?
That's what happened. I mean, I kept saying to Southside, I say it before the Motherwell game, a couple of weeks before, I says, they're lying in wait for us, by the way. They have got a plan for us. Aye, saying, I know. I says, what happened? We just walked straight into it, and they had a plan for us. So Mirren will have a plan for us as well. Trust me. They'll know all the weaknesses, and that's another thing that annoys me with Martin, and it annoyed me with Clement as well, is we never work on any of our team's weaknesses. We never identify any weaknesses. We play our style of football, which is crap, but we keep on playing it. Nobody's going to knock us off and to make us change. But what's the weaknesses of the team? Sometimes you might have to tweak your system to exploit the weaknesses of other teams. We never look at any other team's weaknesses. We never talk about any other team's weaknesses. It's always just about us and what we're going to do, and we're going to do this, that, and the next thing, and end up doing absolutely nothing, time and time again. I mean, if you look to the Bruges game, apart from them, they're a good team. Let's not kid ourselves. They're not a brilliant team, but they're a good team. There's no getting away from that. But I'm looking at it and going like that. If we were actually up and at them, that'd have been an interesting. I'm not saying we'd have beaten them, but it'd definitely been an interesting game, by the way. We'd have gave them a shock. The trouble is we made it too easy for them. Absolutely too easy, because we weren't up for the game. You've seen it right away. We weren't close enough to our men. It's madness, mate. It's total madness. But again, make yourself hard to beat. It's simple things, mate. You go to build simple building blocks. What we're trying to do is be nuclear scientists with an under 16 chemistry set. You know what I mean?
I know. You touched on the Alloa game, like obviously the tactics is not there, but the way Russell Martin had it set up when Alloa broke. I mean, this is Alloa. When they broke for their first goal, they had 4 players running at midfield. We had 2, and the 2 of them were miles apart. And I'm like, this is Alloa. They were playing like prime Barcelona, bursting forward like that. And I'm like, what is going on here? And again, if we are, as amateurs, are sitting back watching this, he's surely, he's got to tweak something, because I just can't. As much as I want to watch the team build and watch how these players progress, because as Albert says, there's boys in there that look as though are good, but I think that you've hit a kind of nail on the head a wee bit. They're too young. We're trying to build assets too much as well. Really, see if we're pushing for a title, we need seasoned pros in amongst there. Now, we've got Butland and all the rest of it, Suter and stuff like that, but they're no built winners. And it's got to be hard to obviously go into any transfer market and go and pick the guys that are leaders and all the rest of it. But I just think we need a balance, and he seriously needs to look at these tactics. He needs to either look at his defence, make the defence different, or he needs to look at his midfield and say, right, I need to drop to like a 4-4-2 or something here, because that overrunning is horrific. Like watching Alloa key a game is, and with all the players that we tried to put on that park, was total alarm bells for me, mate. What?
One of the biggest things he changed during his tenure at Southampton, mate, was he had it originally had the same setup as what we are seeing now, but he did, after a short while, go to the back 3 with the 2 wing backs, and that was the changing at Southampton. As I said, they went on, I'm sure it was 25 or 26 games, mate, like unbeaten. There was draws involved as well, but he went unbeaten for a long, long time, because he's seen that his plan A was the working, and a few bad results, like similar to what we've had. But what he's got to remember, mate, it's not the Championship. This is Scotland. It's the most unique style of football that you'll ever come up against. Every week, these guys, when they come against Rangers or that mob across the road, it's their cup final. So, see this crap. I mean, I bought into it. Like we all did. We're all drawn in by, we'll run harder, we'll work harder, we'll be more aggressive, we'll be this, we'll be that, we'll be the next thing. He set himself up for a fall, boys. He set himself up. See, making statements like that, that's fine if you've worked on something pre-season and you've seen during pre-season, this is working, by the way. These boys are training like beasts. Let's keep this going, because if that's the way they were training, if that's who we're playing in pre-season, then you stick by it. But we're now, moving on in games, and basically where we're sitting at now, we've got what? He's after a shaky start. 2 draws in their first 2 Scottish matches. I've left them 4 points behind that mob already. Champions League is on the look set to come to an end, because they're 3-1 down. You know what I mean? Already. A drastic turnaround, Gary, has to happen. And Albert has to happen very, very soon. Right now, he's sitting on a 37.5 win ratio at Rangers. And I'm sorry, mate. Sorry, lads. That's not good enough. He faced a tough task to win, the Rangers support. Now he's got a tough task to try to turn that support around to get in behind them. You know what I mean? They're already calling for his exit, mate. They're already calling for it. They're already wanting him out the door. So, the next few games, I'll give you a wee rundown of his results so far, right? Now, the expectation was always going to be high. We signed 10 players under the new ownership of the Rangers. Andrew Kavanagh, brought us new hope. However, the long-term project now got off to a very shaky start. There was no silver bullet situation to fix everything, mate. That was never going to happen. And now we've got to try and turn these fortunes around. Now, we've got a draw against Motherwell, with 3-0 against Pilsen, a draw against Dundee, 2-1 to Pilsen, 4-2 against Alloa, and then 3-1 against, Bruges. The results have to improve. The foundations to build back up, mate. And frankly, sack talk is a huge overreaction considering the strength of the opposition. I think at the moment, to try and go back to, albeit you've touched on this, go back and rip this up again, and new manager and a new philosophy and more new players, and the next 4 matches: St Mirren, Burnley against Bruges, Celtic and Hearts. There you go. They're your next 4 guys. The rebuild is going to be, in my opinion, he's got a lot of rebuilding, bridges to do between his squad and the support before we get behind them, because not only is he let us down, not all the players, by the way, but some of the same old players have let us down again. And I said this, Gary, I've said this. This was going to be a slow burner, and I always had the feeling that we're going to stick by him, because I think with Kevin Thirlwell and his right-hand man and the structure they've put in place, they've picked him and they are going to back him. But I think still the big hindrance we've got at the moment is we can't go and get who we want because of these high earners that's still on the pitch, mate. But the next 4 games for me, guys, effectively, we go and get beat off that mob, right? And this is if we get a result against St Mirren, we could be 10 points behind them already, and we're only in September. I just think his jacket will be on a very shakily peg, and if they lose, the talk will only get louder, and he may face a big battle just to keep his job after a few months. I think a lot of it he's bringing on himself, mate. I think he's bringing a lot on himself, because he's not looking at it and going. I keep going back to Walter Smith, mate. Right, Walter Smith sometimes played the ugliest football you would ever see. Again, core of Scottish players, bit of European flair in there to get you on the edge of your seat. Grinding results out, but it worked, guys. We were dominant in domestic. We were dominant domestically. That's gone. Honestly, mate, I understand. I keep saying this. I understand the revenue of European competitions, right? I understand it totally. But see, right now, the way this team is, mate, I wish I would like to get knocked out of the tournament and not drop into the Europa, because I would just want this team concentrating on domestic dominance. Let's get this team used to playing against Dundee and St Mirren and Hearts, and that will be along the road. And then that's the building blocks that we set in place. And then maybe next season, once he gets the players and we're continuing to build, then we can start concentrating in Europe. But right now, mate, remember I used to always say it, I always felt we were at a level of Europa was your competition. I did still feel, even under the other managers, that the Champions League was a wee bit of a step too far, but due to finances, I now think, mate, that even the Europa League with this current squad and manager would be a tough task, mate, and a distraction that I particularly we could do without, mate, because I think we should be concentrating and allow Russell Martin to have the league to concentrate on. A bit like Man United, they'll solely concentrate in the league this year. You know what I mean? And that's what I think we need. We need to get this squad and this group used to winning games domestically. I don't know if you agree, guys, but that's how I'm feeling right now.
Aye, Albert, I mean, Europe can be a distraction, and you find that the press just ramp it up, expecting us to run out and beat Tottenham and all this carry on.
Wait a minute. Listen. Football's football. Forget about what competition it is. Football is football. Whether it's Champions League, whether it's Scottish Premiers, it makes no difference. Football's football. Winning games is winning games. Losing games is losing games. What he needs to do is start winning games. Forget about his style, forget about his tactics, forget about his philosophy, and win games. Right? If we'd have won most of these games that we're talking about now, the other one Dundee game, and we go maybe get beat 1-0, 2-0 last night or Tuesday night, and sitting where we're sitting, everybody would be like, oh, we're doing well now, and we're doing well. You're only talking about 2 goals. Scores 2 goals, one against Motherwell, one against Dundee United. Dundee, sorry. And one less goal in Tuesday night. We're all talking about, oh, this is good. This is no bad, by the way, isn't it? Nice wee start. Not playing but great football, but we're getting the results. The way it is now, if you want to drop out of Europe, Port, it's mad. If you think about it, it's mad. Because you've just said if we get beat here and this could happen, this could happen. We'll be 10 points behind. If Hibs put us at the cup, well, that's that. You've got the Scottish Cup to play for now. So what to sit there and watch the Scottish Cup, and that doesn't start till later on in the year. So you're sitting going, is this what we're to look forward to? That's without Europe. We weren't in Europe, mate. If we never get into that Europa League group stages, this is what you're going to. It's going to be a hard season to sit without any European football, no league football. League Cup's gone, and you're waiting for the Scottish Cup now. This is what you're talking about, mate. It's an entertainment business, remember. We're paying good money to go up there and see a game of football, first and foremost, and we want to win that game of football, right? But you're no sitting, we can't just go, right, we don't want to play in this tournament, we don't want to play in this tournament, we want to get our team ready for next year. And what happens next year comes and we're not ready then again? Do we just write that season off? It's just, it seems to be wait with this club at the moment. You're talking about other teams are bringing eight players into their club, 8 players, first team players, walking straight into their team and playing all right. Just a game of football. I could pick you and put you in that part in your position and you just play all right. It seems to be that when you get to Rangers, we as a support are part of all this. We make these players fear to the Rangers jersey. Put all this pressure on people. You need to win every. You've got to win every game. Martin's right with that one. Every team's got to win every game. We're not unique on this. Oh, you don't know what it is to play for Rangers. You're going, well, why would they? It's just playing for Rangers and winning games. That's all it is, mate. There's no more greater than that. Oh, expectations. Expectations are there, but they really shouldn't have been there. If you look at what we've been doing in the last 20, in fact, the decades all right up until apart from mid-80s, 90s. Apart from them, you look at the 60s up to then. It's been pretty mince, mate. It's been pretty mince. But we've all got this expectations. We're living on the reputations of big men and giants in the Rangers history of back in the 30s and 40s and 50s, mate. That's what we're living on. We need to get a grip and say we need to pull this club into a situation where we compete for the next 30, 40, 50 year, mate. No, just this season. We need to get this right in our heads. We need to expect less and appreciate more, mate. This is what's happening. We're just wanting this unique football and this wonderful Rangers team and this. We are Rangers. We're a big, big club. Well, we need to start acting like a big, big club, mate. And you've got to roll with the punches as well. You've got to this desire to win right through the club. Every other club against us has got it, but we have not got it, mate. It was just something that haven't got it. It's down to an all-time low now. You can say that's because of what happened in 2012. But the fact of the matter is the club is a shell at the moment. It's got stability with the new owners. It's got things going for it. It's got a foundation starting to get put in place. The football is mince at the moment. Total mince. The team is total mince. So we need to improve on certain things. For Martin's sake, he doesn't need to worry about all this grandiose stuff. But he just needs to worry about the simple thing. Get some simple things right. Start with corner kicks. Start with running, getting guys to know where they're going, putting the right guy in the right position. It's simple things, mate. Don't do the complicated things. Don't say, oh, well, Real Madrid wouldn't play like this, or PSG wouldn't play like that. Aye, they would play better because they've got better players. Let's be honest about it. And we're never going to have the players. We're never going to be afford that type of player. Sorry, mate, ranting again.
Do you think that's one of the problems then? Oh, sorry, Obert. Gary, Obert, do you think that's one of the problems? Do you think Russell, he's one of these modern tacticians, he loves his football, says he eats, sleeps, shits football. That's what he does, right? He's a, he loves to study the game. And as we all know, football's a simple game, right? Pass and move. If you get the right formation, you pass, move, and it's a simple game if you simplify it, and the instructions are carried out, and the instructions are, that are being put across, are listened to, and the players fully understand it. I think Russell Martin is like 10
Overcoaching.
steps ahead of. Oh, aye, that's what I'm looking for, mate. He's overcoaching and overloading their brains with, this inverted fullback,
garbage.
not inverted fullback, all this modern day coaching. Whereas I think, and I'm not saying players are stupid, mate, I'm not saying that for a minute, but sometimes you can be the most gifted player in the world, right? But the instructions you're receiving individually and as a collective can be, they can destroy teams because, some people will pull one way, some people will pull another way, some people will pick up Russell Martin, what he's getting at immediately. Other players are probably going to each other, I've not got a goddamn clue what this guy's wanting me to do. He's asking me to go here, run there, chase this, chase that, come inside, but be outside, make sure I'm covering. And this team is still, in my opinion, in their fledgling sort of under Russell Martin. They're still learning his philosophy. It looks to me, Albert, guys, that they've been overcoached and given far too much information to fit his philosophy and to get the message across of what he's wanting them to do. That's what they look nervous to me when they go onto the pitch. They look nervous on the ball.
Do you know what it's missing? I'm waiting to see it. They all come on holding notepads, and they're just, before they make a pass, they have to look their notepad. What have I to do with this again? That's what it's like, mate. It's just no natural anywhere. They're no playing their natural game. They're no running naturally. They're looking about to see, what have I to do? Oh, have I to be here? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, they two are over there, so I'm going to take 30 yards back. It's nonsense, mate. You can't play like that.
So you're saying the same thing,
Ox said it as well. You can't play football on a blackboard, mate. It doesn't work.
Aye.
It doesn't work, mate. You've got to let players play, and you've got to put them and set them up in such a situation they're going to get the maximum out of them. They're going to be allowed to play and be good at what they're good at. We're doing it completely opposite, mate. We've got people playing in rank positions. We've got guys not a clue what they're doing. We've got a midfield that barely talks to itself. We've got a defence that doesn't talk to anybody. Right? We've got a forward line that gets starved any supply. We've got a centre forward that's isolated, completely isolated. He stands up there himself, mate. It's a shame. It doesn't matter if it's Dessers, it doesn't matter if it's Danilo, it doesn't matter if it's Zygmunt. Whoever we put up there is going to be isolated in this system. So you've got to get everybody involved in the game. You've got to get the guys working together, and we're not working together, mate. It's as simple as that, because nobody knows what they're to do. Look at the corner kicks. I mean, if we have got a defensive coach who's working on corner six, sack him tomorrow, mate. Immediately that man should be sacked, because what I watched in Tuesday night was disgraceful, mate. Absolutely disgraceful. And you're looking at it and going, a professional team setting up like that. I've seen wee boys teams playing set up better than that. It's nonsense, mate. And you're sitting going, what? There's a wee gang of boys on your 6 yard, all your players in the 6 yard box. Nobody wants to move, nobody wants to come out. You're going, there's guys all standing across the 18-yard line free. And the guy just walks on and taps the ball into the net. All right, he mishit it, but it still went in the net. It's nuts, mate. It's simple things like that. It's nuts. It's bad coaching. There's no, he's talking about they're going to get it and it's all going to come good. It's going to be brilliant. It's not going to be brilliant if you keep coaching the way you're coaching. Are you improving? Are you learning? Do you see what's happening? One thing, question these presser coming up for the thing we get, the St Mirren game. Ask him a simple question like, what's the weaknesses of St Mirren? What any weaknesses in St Mirren have you seen? He'll say aye or no. He'll probably say aye. He'll not tell you, and quite rightly so. He shouldn't tell you, but I would ask him the question to make him aware that we're all waiting for you to exploit what any weaknesses in that St Mirren team. Because all I hear is the weaknesses in the Rangers team. We all can pick that. Everybody can pick that because everybody watches the Rangers. Never know everybody watches St Mirren, but everybody watches the Rangers. So everybody knows their weaknesses. Tell me a weakness. Then you know. I don't know a weakness in that St Mirren team because I don't watch St Mirren. You know what I mean? So you're sitting there going, so what's your tactics for that? Oh, we'll just play our game. Well, St Mirren are waiting for you now. Same as Motherwell waited for us, same as Dundee waited for us, and same as every other team in this Premiership are sitting waiting to play Rangers. And they all know what they're going to do as well. Because why? Because they know every weakness in their team.
The Ibrox no longer a fortress. What's your thoughts, guys? Do you think there's too much information, i.e., from Russell Martin, his coaching team? You know, should it be one voice, i.e., Russell Martin? You know, which he should be, by the way. But you often see he's number two. You also see the other coach constantly out barking, or he's got players at his side that's about to get warmed up, etc. I just think there's far too much of information overloads, mate, coming from all different people, and that to me, if I was playing under that, I would be like, right, he's telling me A, but he's telling me B, and then he's telling me C. And then you get on the pitch, and then maybe accuse them of doing what they wanted today. They run when they want. They run when they defend when they want. You know, they're confused, GB. I don't know if you feel the same, mate, but I just feel there's information overload, and that is not helping at all.
I honestly think there's a bit of both in it, but I think the players, I think he's went too early. Well, in fact, he probably should have went earlier on his criticism of the players, in the sense that in his pre-season and building up to it and all the rest of it, see the thing he's done with Tav and Raskin and all the rest of it, he should have done that earlier, because then he would have seen who was up for the fight and who's going to accept it. And I think there's been a bit of it where the boys are looking at it, and it's like any manager that comes in, new manager into your workplace or whatever, and wants to change things up. You're either got to like it or not like it. And I think you've got probably a percentage in the dressing room now that are not liking it. They don't like Lawson. They can't be bored with all the overload of information, probably constant videos, analysing. I mean, he was saying the other night there as well, when he took them in at half time, he was showing them all videos. I mean, that would end up busting you, I think, seeing constant videos of this, that, and the next thing. And so I think there's ones that are up for it, like, say, Butland seems switched on for it, and the ones he's personally signed, I think seem to be all in on it. But I think ones that have been there too long, or can they go anywhere else because they're at the biggest club they'll ever be at, I'll tell
you something, mate. I'll tell you something. See if they're no all bought into you. Go to all your... Port will tell you better than me. He's played at a high level. If your whole team's no bought into your manager's system and his principles and his tactics, you're dead in the water. Forget about it. You're dead in the water. No matter what 100%. You're going to say.
Well, I think it is, mate. I think that's what he's got.
It's just dead.
I think this, you said it before. If we'll see who's by the time the window shuts, we'll see who's along for the ride and who'll just no be ways. And you're like, well, I don't think there's many way you know. And I think that's what's happened. I think there's been, and this is the question I was going to get on you, and I know that the tune's coming up, but where do you think the cut-off point is for these? Like, where you've got to go, right, enough's enough? Because it's clear.
It's results, mate. It's results. Simple. Results. And the owners will be sitting waiting. And by the way, Stuart and Thelwell will not pull the trigger on him. I'll tell you why they won't pull the trigger on him. Because they were involved in the interview. So they makes them look bad if they're now turning to the owners and saying, we need to sack this guy. Well, you're usually the one that gave him 7 interviews to get the job. How did you get that right? That's what they'll be saying to him, them two. So it's going to reflect bad on them and within Ibrox himself. So they'll not be wanting to sack him. They'll be sitting there going like, you better get this right. But they better start having meetings with him to say, look, you're making us look like fools, by the way. And who's going to trust us? If you can't get this right and prove this team and start showing something, we might not get another job. We might be at the door with this carry on and not get another job. That's how bad it is, mate. Because other clubs are looking at us. Professional football is professional football. They all know everything that's happening within the game. And they all look at these people, and it's a case of, I bet there's a few people within the game, the eyebrows raised when Rangers offered him the job. I bet that's what's happened as well. A lot of people will be going like, oof, what are they doing that, honing him that job for? Clement, as I said, he had credentials, but Martin's not got credentials to take the job on. And if he's going to be stubborn about it, it's simple, mate. He won't be there, but it will be the owners. I've heard other people saying it as well. It'll be the owners that do it. It's not going to be any of us. It's not going to be Theo or what you call him, Stuart. It'll be us. They might give them instructions to do it, sack them, but they'll not make that decision themselves. Why would they? Because they're involved in it, mate. And that's admitting something you get totally wrong. But at the end of the day, if they've no bought into it, you're dead in the water. It's as simple as that. And you need to ask the question, if they all bought into it, if they've not, we're dead in the water, mate. We're never going to improve.
What your thoughts, mate? Where's your cut off? And for what I was saying there, do you think it's just a bit of this new managers? Some people have took to him, some people have no. And the way he came out with Murrow, do you think he's left that too late? He should have probably been stronger in the pre-season and saying, sorry, Tav, you're not going to be starting it right back this season. Sorry, Raskin, you're going to be playing a different role for me this season. And just laying it out right for the start. And then he wouldn't have probably had these kind of moments now that he's having with chopping and changing Tav, chopping and changing Raskin's position, having to appease Raskin because Raskin's supposedly chapped his door and wanted to have a word with him. You know what I mean? So I think what he's created probably a thing that he didn't really want this early on. He should have probably dealt with that during the summer.
I would like to things like that happening. I don't mind that we're asking went and says, look, I want to play the 6th role because, in my opinion, I think in terms of ball retention and winning the ball, there's no better player at Ibrox or in Scotland at winning the ball back. He's tenacious, he's aggressive. His turnover percentage is far better than Rothwell's, by the way. And I have said it on the show before that I think Raskin should be the number 6 and Rothwell should be one of the ones that's further forward, like an 8. You know what I mean? But that's for me, that's the only problem with the midfield, mate. When we signed Aarons, I've got to really admit, I thought we'd signed an upgrade to James Tavernier, but so far, what we've seen, I think he looks like a similar type of player to James Tavernier. I think what we've got is, is he better than James Tavernier defensively? Debatable. You know what I mean? If you're James Tav, you're going, what? How's he better than me? Tav's output as in cross. I know he's lost a bit of pace, guys, all better, but he's still got an eye for goal. He's got a goal already this season. His delivery's still pretty good. I understand they're trying to phase him out. You know what I mean? But Aaron's performances haven't, in my opinion, warranted Martin's trust yet. He's been picked ahead of Tav in the starting lineup. And so far, right, minutes played, 90. Successful dribbles, he's completed 1 out of 3. Dispossessed twice. Tackles 1. Ground duels 1. 4 out of 11. You know what I mean? So there's another problem. Aarons was brought in and been given good money at a massive club to try and revive his career for Bournemouth, but he's not lived up to the expectation, in my opinion. And I was mega excited when we signed.
Playing to instructions, mate. He's playing to instructions.
But that's what's happening, as I was getting to. But he's been asked to play to instruction for the manager, and I think it's stifling the wee man's overall game. The only one I gave pass marks to the other night was the debutant with Jaden Magoma. I thought
he didn't play instructions.
Aye,
he just played his game. He
played his game, mate, and for his foot in a European tie, didn't look at a place so bad. Didn't look at a place, guys. The guy gets threw into the deep end and won his duels, won his headers, tackled, set up Danilo's goal. Had an impact. This is a problem. Russell Martin needs to let these guys off the leash, guys. Albert, he needs to let them off the leash, let them off the handbrake, and go let them express. Let them express themselves.
Do you notice on Tuesday, Port, that the right hand, a second half, forget the first half, that was a disaster, but second half, do you notice that the right hand side wasn't working right, but the left hand side started to function? No, brilliant, but started to function. I says to somebody, do you know why that is? The right hand side still playing instructions, and the left hand side they're just playing natural. They're just going for it. They've just, shackles are off us. We're just going for this. And all of a sudden, we all started playing well. The young boy, before he went off, started linking well with the gas man. And then when Tav came over and he started linking well. And he started linking well with Asgard. When he came over, the gas, I went, so they're all just playing. They're playing off the cuff, mate. They're just playing their game. They're just playing their game, their natural game. But the right-hand side, they're still playing instructions. They're all stifled. And we're going, we're not getting much at the right. Because Aaron's, for example, he's an attacking fullback, mate. That's what he is. That's what he's always been, an attacking fullback. But we've new
time, boys.
Oh, sorry, mate.
You're all right. Right. We'll come back to this because obviously it's the biggest topic about Rangers now, about Russell Martin tactics and all the rest of it. So hopefully we'll hear for some more calls in the second part of the show. But as always, we're going to have a tune.
See them march on, marching on through the years of history. Heads held on high, for the jersey they would do or die. Fight for right, play the game with the badge of glory. Win, lose or draw, that's the Glasgow Rangers story. See them march on, banners high as they fly before you, loyal and true, on their way to cheer the boys in blue. Follow they will, marching on to the songs of glory. Win, lose or draw, that's the Glasgow Rangers story. See them march on, banners high as they fly before you, loyal and true, on their way to cheer the boys in blue. Follow they will, marching on to the songs of glory. Win, lose or draw, that's the Glasgow Rangers story.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Oh, go on, Fox, just play it again. I want it again. Welcome back, everybody. And I should probably say this at the start of the show. Just hope everybody's having a nice night across the socials as well. Please, if you've got any points, to stroke them in, and we'll pick them up as the show continues. I take it we're all back, boys, aye?
Yep. Aye, mate. Yeah.
So I just back to what you were saying there with Russell Martin. The way forward, obviously, albeit is going to be results. But you were touching on there with the young boy that just came in. There's Ant-Man for the other night there. Ant-Man, his first game, was free-flowing football, putting in lovely crosses into the box. And you can tell already he's been stifled. He's been hurt with the Rangers bug, because that's what we love to do to players. They come in with all this pedigree and talent, and then we seem to suck the life out of them for some reason. And as you said, Gasman at that second half the other night, they just decided, no, I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to charge into that box every time I get the opportunity. And look what happened. We could have actually got a second goal with it, and we've been probably looking a bit better going into the second leg of the tie. And it just shows you how fragile Bruges could be at the back when they're switching off. So this side of things, this is what I'm saying. It comes down to Martin. I think he's got players there. I genuinely think we've got a squad there that we could put together with some right organisation and have a decent challenge in our league and a decent challenge of actually getting through to this Champions League. Whether we do well in it is another thing, but the manager, like I say, is if he doesn't change something come St Mirren at the weekend, then he'll mend him, albeit. I've got no sympathy for him because
Look,
he said enough warnings.
There's a wee exercise the three of us could do there, right? And go through each department. We'll go through the defence, the goalkeeper defence with one, the midfield and the forward line, right? And we can point out where they've been overcoached, that we think they've been overcoached. And I think the three departments, and there's players in the departments, have all been overcoached. You start with the goalkeeper. I think the goalkeepers, Kelly and Burton, have been overcoached as much as you want to turn them into sweeper keepers. And that's why you get them doing the hokey cokey. The Dundee game, your man Burton was doing it in and out, doesn't know what to come in. He's halfway out, so back in his head. And then Kelly was doing it the Alloa game, and then your man done it in the Bruges game. Just leave them alone to do their own thing. They're goalkeepers, shot stoppers, and leave it at that. Don't try and turn them into these sweeper keepers because you're making a complete and utter mess of it. And that's one version. That's the overcoaching. What do you think?
I would agree on that. Like he says, although strangely enough, Butland's form has been all right, but it's not been down to these instructions. It's just been down to him actually
being a good goalkeeper.
He went away in the summer there, albeit and put in some extra work and stuff like that. So clearly he knew that he had to up his game coming into this season, and sadly, he's not actually seen any rewards for it. The rest of the teams are absolute shambles in front of him now. So no, I agree that it's a port area of you, mate. It's a bit where you can physically see it again. Alloa, like I says, you had Kelly trying to bring the ball down and play it out for midfield half the time.
Yeah, the astonishing thing for me, mate, was, and you touched on it, Albert, was like defending. Corners would be an example, right? Very simple thing you do in football. If there's a short corner, you send one, sometimes two people out to stop that short corner coming in. What you don't do is send nobody out. So you're basically not ready for it at all. You know what I mean? But we continue to watch that defensive set piece routine, and it absolutely staggered me. Named on the posts, it was always short. They'd obviously checked this out and obviously watched how we set up at corners. Look at the gaps there was. You always had a player on 18-yard line, but there was nobody there. For us, I've never seen that before at corners. Cheap set pieces along with that bizarre mistake that Giga never allowed Rangers to get into the game at all the other night. They practically handed the visitors both goals in a silver platter. I mean, Rangers have conceded 10 goals in 8 competitive matches under Martin. 7 of those have come from in the last 3 games. He had the same struggles with Southampton in the Premier League, well documented by the way. In his time at Swansea, struggled to deal with set pieces. He's a defender. That was his job, and this is becoming like a running theme in his managerial career. We've got a real problem. Somehow, still, in defending set pieces, the mentality is nowhere near strong enough. And that's on all of us, by the way. That's including even fans. I think we're really struggling to deal with watching it. But as a team, we don't make teams work for goals. We're handing them goals, and we're making the same repetitive mistakes over and over and over again. And like you touched on the over coaching, Albert, this is the fundamental basics of football. A short corner, mate, and we were caught out with 2 the other night. A week here for Rodwell out the box. It falls to the guy at the edge of the box because we've not got anybody marking at the edge of the box, and the thunderbolts into the heavy deflection, but it still gets great connection on it, mate, and thunderbolts into the bottom corner. Guys, this is what Albert, you know, guys, you know as well, this is like under sixes, under eights, under tens. You know, how to show a defence, how to line up at a corner. You know, and we at this level, we're getting caught out, and teams must see it, Albert, and it, guys, and that's why I'm sitting here holding my head with frustration. That's why we're losing goals.
Exactly, mate.
But because we're not doing the fundamental basics of defending, i.e., get touch tight your man. You know, if you're not you should be talking to each other. And as long as you can feel him, as long as you can touch him, as long as you can touch him, all pair, as long as you can touch him and feel him, then you know where your guy is. But we're standing watching. You know what I mean? And it's so frustrating, mate.
That's undercoaching, mate. That's one of the few times we've undercoached, because they should be set up a corner kick, mate. That's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And that's where your work goes into the other team, who you're picking up, danger men, how they take their corners. Who, if you see so and so going out to take the corner, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. You do your homework, mate. We just stood there. We don't do any homework, mate. He's got a philosophy, and he's not the way he thinks football should be played, whether it's free kicks, whether it's corner kicks, whether it's open play. He's got this magical thing in his head, and he thinks it's the perfect game he's looking for in his head. In actual fact, when you watch it on developing within your sight on the park, it's horrible. You're sitting going, Christ's sake, what are we doing? I'm like you, mate. I'm holding my head and going like that. Corner kicks. I see it. You see it. Everybody sees it. The whole of Britain sees it. The whole of the Europe sees it. When they take a corner kick going, the guys are just standing there still. This guy looks up for the corner kick. Oh, there you are. It notes it straight to him. Guy just walks straight onto the ball and puts it in the net. Easy peasy. And then we all look at that and go, well, why was he not picked up? You need to turn to the defensive coach and say, did you tell them to set up this way? Is this we're doing now? Where's the out ball as well? See if we actually get to them. Where's the out ball? We've got everybody in the area. Ox pointed out the other night. Have we not got a couple of players like Ant-Man and Gazala up the park that pulls their players back up into the right half, up to the right halfway line? We don't even do that. It's another basic. Nothing doesn't get done. Anyway, we've done the goalkeeper there. Ant-Man. I think Ant-Man's getting overcoached as well. I think he's stifled as well. And I think you're never going to see the best of the ball. And he's playing out of position a lot of the time. Suter, overcoached and out of position.
Well, that first goal the other night, that was prime overcoaching or over instruction. Because again, why? If like there's all saying, if in doubt, just launch it. I mean, and the boy was like, "Oh no, Butland's got to get it. No, maybe I should get it. No, oh no, just leave it for Butland. Oh wait a minute, there's a boy through and goal, bang, 1-0 down. Just, and I know Port said that Danilo should have dealt with it, but see, to be honest, see if your teammate fails, then it's down to you. It's your role then after that to deal with that ball. And it's just stopped. Like, even John Suter stopped and all. I mean, nobody took responsibility, and that's, again, comes back to the manager. And we're probably sounding more critical again. We're trying to say we're looking optimistic and we'll give him time. But see, the more you go through it, Albert, it's horrific. This guy will be lucky to see what it says after the international break if he continues on like this. Sorry, mate.
He's saying that we're going to get better. That's what he keeps telling you. You're going to get better. And my question is, how's that going to happen? These guys that can't play this position and do what you're telling them, are not going to be able to do it in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months, 5 months, 6 months next year. They're not going to be able to do it. If you want proof of them, put that. Just to ask Clement. If he was in the gun the other night, I wish he would have been down there and says to him. Clement would have been doing and says to Russell, by the way, if you carry on doing what you're doing, that's exactly what I done, and I'm sitting on the brow now. So it's going to happen to you if you don't start sorting this out. And it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. How does he sort it out? Mate, it's hard to beat. Turn us into a defensive team, mate. It's hard to beat, and work it for there, mate. Work it for there. Take the results for there. Slowly but surely build it. Slowly but surely. And the saying is, he says, we need to build, but we need to win when we're building. Well, that's the way you're going to do it, mate. Buy yourself time. Buy yourself time to get your other players in if you want to play that system. because you're not going to do it, and you're not going to do that, buy all the players for that system in 1-2 transfer windows. So you're never going to get the time if you don't start winning games. Never in a million years. And the only way you're going to win games is, mate, it's hard to beat. Sorry, mate, but that's my philosophy on it.
Mm-hmm. No, I'll go to Port, the defence,
Aye.
the instruction, and mostly it's built on loans, mate. This is another thing.
Yeah.
We could put all this work into it, and Russell Martin's saying we need to do this, need to do that. Put all the work into that defence. That defence is not there next season.
I was going to say that too once you lose them. Look, a big example, guys playing the instructions and guys playing on their debuts. If you all look back to Ant-Man's debut, right, Paul didn't have enough time to even get instruction. So he went out and played his natural game the way he enjoys playing and the way he feels effective. And on his debut, let's be honest, guys, against Paulson, he was outstanding. He was a constant danger. He was trapping deep. He was dribbling. He was cutting inside. He was going to the byline. Superb. Magoma, left back against Bruges the other night. Again, probably didn't enough time for Russell Martin to nip his brain and crush on my instruction. We guy goes out and plays his natural game. And again, guys, no coincidence. The wee guy, left back, first game against Bruges, first Champions League game I had, and arguably probably best player on the night. I don't know if you agree with that. Probably best Ranger on the night. Done for me, won his duels, got forward well, started, you touched on it, Old Bear, started looked like he was going to build a sort of relationship up with the gas man. I could see them two working very well together. And I know it is a young squad, and I know some of these guys in their teens, but I'm one of these guys, like, it's an old cliche. If you're good enough, you're old enough. And I can see a lot of potential and a lot of, relationships building up through time. But I don't know if you agree with what I'm getting at here. What I'm saying is, Ant-Man, best game I've seen him playing was his debut. Magoma, best game we've seen him the other night, best Ranger on the park, was his debut. Because they're playing to their own strengths, they're playing to their own game. They're showing Russell Martin, showing the fans, this is what I can do. What do you think? And this is where I think Russell Martin's going to, I don't know if it's his ego, I don't know what it is, but let the guys play. I understand they've got to play a formation up there, Gary. I understand that, right? But let the guys grow. Let the guys take the handbrake off and let them go and express themselves. Because when they do it, we see it. I mean, I used Bill Ramy, and I know it was at Alloa. When he curled that one in that top corner, listen, people will go, it's Alloa, it's Alloa. See that finish the other night with him, boys? One touch, and he curls it into that top corner after the underside of the bar. I've always said I like Barami because technically I think there is a player in there. And I still believe that. But I think our players, guys, are being crushed with information. Because whenever you see the guys, as I said, whenever you see them playing their own game and they're allowed to play their own style of football, well, I see improvement. I don't know if you agree with these things, guys. What's your thoughts on that?
I agree with you, mate. Totally agree with you.
Well, your midfield, you'll talk about all better, won't it? I mean, we're talking about the instruction thing. There, defence, we've ticked another box there. But when you look at this midfield and
I'll tell you what.
Rami, you know what I mean?
Well, I'll tell you what I see with the midfield. I see three players in the midfield, right? One of them doesn't want to play the position he's been told to play. The other one plays to the instructions to the letter, Rodwell. Raskin plays in a position he doesn't want to, and doesn't want to play in. And then you've got your man, Diamande, who can't take any instructions. Never could, never will. Can't take instructions, mate. So you're wasting your time with him. He's that confused, by the way. He doesn't even know he's a football player now. You see him in the park. Yeah, there's not a clue what he's doing, mate. Not a clue where he's supposed to be. It's ridiculous and it's pathetic to watch. He's struggling, the poor boy's struggling. Overcoached. He's overcoached. Raskin doesn't want to play in the position he's getting him, and Rodwell plays it to the letter. He's that rigid that he's no variety in his play. So you're saying there, yeah, a total midfield that's dysfunctional, and that's we're injuring them, and we're trying to get them to control a game. They can't control themselves, let alone a game. It's ridiculous. It's just that bad, mate. It's so bad. I don't know how you see the midfield, but that's the way I see it operating.
And just add Leo Cameron, Albert. Add Leo Cameron. Anytime that young man's been given a chance, because again, he's been there to express himself. He's found himself at a club maybe he thought he was never going to get there. And he gets out there, and I can tell that boy has got desire. He gets forward. He's a danger. He's got a pass. He's willing to go and fight and track back and get stuck in. And again, a guy that's probably went, wow, I'm at Rangers, and he seems to be grabbing the moment, doesn't he? Whereas we touched on Diamande, I was one guy that was excited with Diamande. I thought this guy we were going to see us make good money off him because we've seen some wonderful moments off him. But this first 6 games we've saw him, you're like, how are you still in the team when there's guys like Leo Cameron, Connor Barron's let me give it a sniff. I still think we're a bit powder puff in the middle of the park, if I'm honest, boys, because I think having one guy like Raskin who's expected to do all the tracking back and all the digging and retaining the ball and this 6 second rule, Russell Martin wants him to win the ball back in 6 seconds every time you lose it. That's all well and done if you get your two mates getting stuck in with you. But we've got the other two seem to know what they today. All better, you know what I mean?
What? They don't win the ball in 6 minutes, let alone 6 seconds. Let's be honest about it, man.
Yeah.
They're nowhere near the player they should be. If it gets the opposition player that they're playing up against, if he gets the body, the player who the Rangers player's never anywhere near him. So they got all the time they want. That's what happened in the first half with Bruce. The players, each player in every position, get tons of time on the ball, tons of time. And a team of that calibre will hurt you, especially if you're wide open. They'll find the spaces, mate. They'll find the spaces, no problem. And that's what happened. That's basically what happened. And they could have scored 5, 6. Could have scored any amount they wanted, to be honest with it. Let's be honest. In the second half, we're supposed to have played well. They had more chances in the second half than we had. I think we had one shot in the second half. That was a goal.
And what else does Russell Martin do as well with shooting himself in the foot? You've got young Finlay Curtis, who's on form, drops him. You've got Diamande there, who's clearly known form, is no understanding what he's meant to be doing, like you say, Albert. And going by what he said after Motherwell, he should have been dropping the boy and putting in, like he says, there's young Lyle Cameron on form. Could just slotted him in there, give him his shot, or let's say if he's trying to shore up the midfield a bit, put in Barn. But he's not doing it. He's not following through in his own words, and this is the thing. It ends up throwing up questions to the fans, going like, well, how can you allow him to be on the park? But yet, that every time you start that young boy, he gets a goal for us. You know what I mean? He's done nothing wrong. And I know saying Finlay Curtis is the answer to Russell Martin's problems, but going by pre-season and all the rest of it, that boy's done nothing wrong. And yet, he's been, again, isolated.
The trouble is, GB, is we've strengthened the team. So Curtis is playing well, he's scoring these goals, but we've then go and buy a better player than him for his position. When you say, well, do we really actually? I'm glad they did, don't get me wrong. Gaspard's a great wee player. But at the end of the day, you sit and go, is that the position we really needed filled? I would say left-sided centre half was more important than getting a left winger at this time, just at this time. But then we seem to go and then we buy a number 6. We don't need a number 6. We've got a number 6. You know what I'm saying? The thing we're needing is a right winger. We've got a right winger now. What do they do? We isolate him. We coach him. We overcoach him. Well, we'll get to the forward line in a minute. So it seems to be that we're buying players that we've already got cover for, or we've got a half-decent guy that plays there, and abandoning left back with 3 left backs at one time, mate. And then end up with one that we don't want to play, we want to get ready. You're saying, I don't understand the recruitment when it comes to that. I hope there's an overall plan that we don't know and we don't understand. That's what I'm hoping for. But I'll be honest with you, mate, I'm totally and utterly confused with what we're doing at times. I really am. I don't understand it. We'll get a centre forward we don't supply. What's the point of playing a centre forward? And you may as well play an arm midfielder in the midfield rather than just abandon the centre forward position. We never give them in anyway, so he's doing nothing, contributing zero to the game. So we may as well put another midfielder in midfield. At least he'll contribute to the game. He might score goals. We might not create any chances. But wait a minute. We don't create chances. There's another problem. No chances do we create. And we've been doing that for seasons now, mate. This is no just this season. This is this stupid tippy-tappy style of football. Creating any chances. It's a new way of trying to win football games right now. Don't create any chances and don't shoot. Don't ever shoot. Win the game that way. It's mad. It's just all stupid and crazy. This is the way me as a fan, that's the way I see it. I don't know if other people see it that way. That's the way I see it. And I'm saying, it's just reinventing the wheel now. This is the way we play football. Remember that idiot Levine? We're going to play. One day you'll play football with no forwards. Remember that, carry on? Well, I think it's arrived at Rangers.
But we move on to your favourite position is maybe no favourite position, but attack midfielders, mate.
well, absolutely overrun. See right now, when you think about it, you've got. I'll start off with the left side. So you've got Gasman, you've got Asgard as this sort of favourite position. You've got Finlay Curtis, who we touched on. Now, Finlay Curtis, like you rightly said, Gary, had a good pre-season. We were excited about the young man breaking through. Russell Martin gives him a chance. He gets a couple of crucial goals. In his European goal, didn't put a foot wrong. You could see every time a young man played that again he's looking at Ibrox going, "Oh, this is it. I've made it. I've achieved my dream." He's a fan of the club. He gets it. He knows what it's like. He knows the understanding and what it means to play for Rangers. And then they bring in Gasman, and okay, Gasman's hit the ground running. He's a top goal scorer at the moment, and he's played well. And unfortunately, through no fault of his own, Finley's found himself on the bench. Now Asgard's back, so where does that leave Finlay Curtis? And that's me just talking about the left side, right? Now we go into that 10 position, the guy that's supposed to link midfield to front. So again, I'm led to believe Asgard can play there as well. Rothwell can play that role. I've seen Rothwell playing that role when he played with Leeds when they went on for their promotion push. Done very well, and I do think he is better suited in that number sort of 8 role there, rather where Russell Martin plays in that 6. That's hence why I keep saying I would keep Raskin in that 6 role. But we're still overloaded, and then we go to the right hand side. Ant-Man, apart from Ant-Man, that's the only cover we've got for that side. Now Cortez, we keep forgetting about him. Where is he? Is there another injury? Can he play on the right? Could he be Ant-Man's backup and then throw in Mikey Moore? The guy is a proper number 10. We seem to be overloaded in the left-hand area, but in particular. And then we've got maybe 2 Moore and Asgard that can play that 10. And then what is it? Is it Curtis and Ant-Man? Cortez and Ant-Man that should be fighting for the right hand side. We've got players with pace, ability, but Russell Martin has yet to fix out the conundrum of where all their best positions are. Obviously, Gasman's the number 1 left-sided player at the moment on form, but right across that other attacking sort of central position and right-hand side, it is Ant-Man. But as I said, guys, I think we've been found out already. I think the teams already know how to stop Rangers. And the biggest thing is, and you're going to laugh, boys, give Rangers the ball. Give them the ball, because they make their own mistakes. They'll give a goal. I think that's the mentality. And if I was a manager playing against Rangers, that's exactly what I'd be saying to my team. I'd be saying, no, today, let's sit in, keep tight, 5-4-1. Let's be hard to beat. Don't let them play through, stay narrow, and we'll hit the counter. And also, they made a mistake, Albert. You hit it right on the head, mate. There's a mistake in it. And one of the other biggest problems we've got is turnover. We turn the ball over far too many times. We get to the last third of the pitch where we've committed lots of players forward. You've seen it, boy. I don't need to teach you guys how to suck eggs. But we've committed so many players forward, and that back line is, vulnerable. Vulnerable because the fullbacks are being pushed forward. Big Giga's got some pace, but Suter's no. And then our whole team is then exposed because what's happening, we're playing up to our strikers, it's not sticking. And that's not fair to defenders, and it's not fair to guys like Raskin, who's the holding midfielder, because the minute we think we're up the park, we're forward line, and including Gas man on this, and I'm including that man on this, the ball retention then gets lost, and then they're on us. They're on us in numbers because we're short, because we've got so many forward. That's your biggest problem, and that's how I would set up every week against Glasgow Rangers, mate. And there's two teams in Scottish Premier League so far that's shown it. That's how easy it is. And how do you fix it, guys? You go back to basics. You have to change it. You have to change it. He has to change it, or he's going to fall against sword, Gary.
But see the thing I can't understand, right? We've said that the farewell and all the rest of it are got to go with a philosophy for Rangers going forward, right? And Russell Martin's got his philosophy in football. So they're all sitting around the table picking these players. So why, if we're signing players that don't understand our system, then why are they needing so much coaching? Like, clearly they've picked these players knowing that they can play in the system. But as soon as they've got them in, they're needing more. I mean, these guys should be signed and they should be going like, oh, welcome to the team. By the way, this is how we play. Oh, brilliant. Right, that's fine. Just put me in my position. I'll start playing. I know you've got to understand your guys running about you because you're new at the team and all the rest of it, but it just seems that, Albert, you touched on this already tonight, mate. It just seems that we need to give these guys another year on top of their signing before they can actually settle in the club. Why can they not just come in and just hit the ground running?
Yeah. What Seary says, which is the same thing, we'll get better. Get better at what? What we try to get better at? Because if a guy can't pass a ball unchallenged at 10 yards to his teammate, that's lack of ability. That's got nothing to do with coaching. That's just lack of ability. And that's all I see all the part, just lack of ability. You're trying to ask them to do things that they can't do. And I know they should be able to pass a ball 10 yards to each other. I know that. But at the end of the day, they're not doing it. That's what Port's saying. We make the mistake and bang, teams are breaking on us. And if you get a team who's quality of Bruges breaking on you, well, there's only going to be one outcome. They're going to eventually score. And they do take them long to do it. All right, we helped them, but it doesn't matter. They still put the ball in the net. It's crazy, mate. I don't understand it. But just to finish off what I was saying earlier on, mate, we're now at the forward line. The forward line, now you get two wingers there. Both of them have showed you what they can do. Maybe Ant-Man's only done it in one game, but the wee Gasman's done it in a few games. He show you what he can do. All of a sudden, we can't get them in the game. We've got a centre forward there. We've tried Dessers in there. We've tried Danilo in there. And we've tried Egeman now. He's had some time, not a lot of time, but he's been in there as well. And we've created, I think, one or two chances in 8 games for the centre forwards. So what kind of system is this, mate? What are we getting better at? What's he want us to get better at? I don't understand it. He just says these words. I just think it's gaslighting now. Anyway, it's just cliches and gaslighting and nonsense. Just speaking nonsense. As we said, he says this tie's no done, the European tie. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know. Makes you think that. It's no done. I says, well, I'm thinking to myself, well, for us to get back into that tie, we need to improve about 1,000% of what we've done there on that Tuesday. And where's this improvement coming? Where is it coming from? I mean, it's nuts, mate. You're just talking crap. It's just talking utter crap. You're going to get the tie's done, but the tie is done, mate. And you're going, oh. I heard somebody saying, oh, we might have to score 5 goals over there. I'm saying we're lucky if we get 5 shots, let alone 5 goals. It's mental, mate. It's mental.
That's probably the most disappointing part of the team I think this season is the forward line. I thought with Martin coming in, as much as he wasn't my pick as manager, I did honestly think that we would see goals. But the right week, I was in the frame of mind that we might turn into like how Klopp was with Liverpool at first, that you'll leak 2, but you'll score 4, or we'll score 1 more than the opposition. I thought we'd maybe see a bit of that, and we've not seen any of it, mate. We've not seen what I thought we'd flood boxes when we were going to an attack, but we've seen reminiscing moments of what Gerrard was doing near the end of his time, where it's out to the wings, it's out left, out right, back into the middle, out left, out right, try and put the pass at the box, try to play all this tippy-tappy football, rather than what I thought they were going to do was flood the box. Every time we attack, there's got to be 4 or 5 players in that box that will have a chance of scoring, and somebody will take a dig. And the only person I've actually seen that probably do that is young Lyle Cameron. He's the only one that's actually been able to take the ball into the box and have an actual dig. And he's had a kind of a tap in for being switched on to a rebound in his career so far. But aye, that's but you touched on it, mate, with the forward line. That has been my biggest disappointment in the full team this season so far, is that we are not scoring loads of goals.
But we Cameron scored that goal away over Pleasant, and he get kicked out of the team for being in the right place at the right time. You know what I mean? So he's kicked out of the team for that. He's not following instructions. You've got to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. But anyway, back to what we're talking about with the forward line. It's a case. My biggest disappointment is not so much the forward line and not the defence, which I'm really disappointed in. But the midfield is totally dysfunctional, mate. It's just not working. These forwards are not getting any ball fed through to them. Nothing. They're getting nothing. And the midfield's they're no defending as well. But the defence has got its problems. The forwards have got their problems. But the midfield is just not working, mate. And he needs to sort it out, because that's the engine. And I don't know if it's the players. I don't know if we need better. We do need better quality players. There's no getting away for that. You can't get enough quality players into your team, mate. But Dale Mandy needs to come out of the team for a start, and that will give the other 2 a fighting chance when they've got 1 more in there, because at the moment they're playing with 2 in there, and they have to do everything. One's in the wrong position. He doesn't want to be in the position he's in. The other one wants to stay to a rigid plan that the manager's told me to stay to. Just get the ball and cycle it to the left, cycle it to the right, and pass it back, but never go forward. For Christ's sake, don't go forward. That will ruin it. It's nuts, mate. It's just nuts. It's, as I keep saying, it's balmy, it's crazy, it's nuts. It's all these things, but nothing's going to change. And then we've got to the position at the centre forward, and you've got to sympathise for the 3 guys. Come on, it's ridiculous what they're doing to them, and then we criticise them for no getting a game, no scoring. They're going, there's nothing. There's no chances to take. No chances ever get created. Daniel gets a tap in Tuesday night, and everybody's saying, "Aye, but it was a tap in." We get guys there at the right place. The centre forward, he's there at the right place to tap that, and somebody's going to be there to put it in. It's not going in by itself. So you look at it and go, well, there you are. If you play him that way and give him chances, there's a fair chance he might score some goals. Same with Dessers, same with Iggerman. But they're no back to goal centre forwards. None of them are. It's no their style. It's no what they do. It's no how they play their best. You don't get the best out of them playing them that way. But again, square pegs and round holes again, mate. It's just it's great. It's like that all over the park, mate. That's all over the park. That's what I see. I don't know what you see, but that's what I see.
Well, Albert makes a point. I mean, our 3 strikers, now as it stands, they've all proved they can score goals. And by the way, all 3 of them can score on all firms as well. I mean, we've got Danilo scored on all firm, Dessers has scored, and so is Iggerman. So it's about creating chances. These boys can do it, and I'll be 100% agree with you with the other night there. The first time I've seen a proper ball put in for a striker to finish, and it was finished. So, where do we go, mate? I mean, if Russell Martin thinks he can go a full season with playing strikers and midfielders, he's certainly plums, mate.
As you said, all these players they're all very different, Gary. I mean, they're completely different strikers. I think Danilo's a good wee link-up guy. I think he comes alive in the 6-yard box like he showed the other night. I think that's sort of striker he is. You get Dessers that does, he's a powerhouse. He'll run. We know that he's an enigma. if you'll have 10 chances and take two, that sort of guy. And then you've got Igaman, who's just a maverick. These players come along, they're very rare. They're usually bonkers. Uh, Example that, and I'm not comparing the two, I'm just giving you sort of an example. But these mavericks, they're usually like the Eric Cantona type, like Igaman will give you an absolute moment of magic that you never see. His wee nutmegs and all that carry on. The way he dribbles with the ball, he loves a wee turn. He'll take the mick at the player, etc. And then, like the one against Celtic, he'll fire it into the tap corner, stuff like that. But he's raw. He's at a different stage in his career. The other two are getting to, Dessers definitely, can he be coached further? I don't know. I think what you've got with Dessers is that's what he is. That's the sort of striker you've got. Danilo is still relatively young enough that he could, definitely room for improvement, and offer Rangers a lot more as an output. But I still think he thrives on chances. Dessers can make ones on his own, as we're seeing against like his goal against Batiste, etc. The goal against Man United, he can do some magical things that we never expect. Whereas the one that needs, I think, the most moulding, the most shaping, and the most coaching, especially under Martin and Terry's interview about him the other night, is Igaman. Now, I still think Igaman, I wouldn't get rid of him yet. I'd like to see him stay at club for another two club and really develop the boy, because I think he's one of these sort of guys. He's a match winner. Once he gets fit, I still think he carries a bit too much timber. I think he would be, if he lost a couple of stone and added to his pace, his tricks, he's definitely got an eye for goal. I think he could be a serious Rangers number 9 if we could get to that sort of double figures mark. That's how highly I do rate Igaman, mate. And there's no hiding for it. It was apart from him, Dessers and him, they were the only two in the squad that other teams in Europe were looking at, and that's because people could see the potential, Dessers' goals, and they see that Igaman could be one for the future if he's coached at the right club. So, but they need service, guys. They need service from the wingers, which we know they're capable of. But who else has to add to that? The midfielders have to, look for them runs on the inside and outside channels. Shouldn't have to come for that's how we're predictable, mate. Right now we always seem to try and get it wide and get the ball in, beat a man, get the ball in, chop back again on the left side. Time that the defence is, reset, and it makes it more difficult for the striker to then get the space again. That's where the big problems are coming from, because we play, in my opinion, guys, look, if you agree with me, I think we still move the ball far too slowly. I don't think we move the ball quick enough to shift these defences. And on the odd time, I'd like to see the two wingers switch. See if that man's not getting, a run and doing well against their left back, then let them switch. Maybe every 15, 20 minutes, just go right to two, you switch wings, and let's see if we can get any change out of, instead of going outside all the time, let's see them cutting on the left, cutting on the right, and letting them have a pop, almost like Tierney did. When he played on the right, he loved chopping it on his left and scored some pillars. But that it gives the defence another thing to think about. But we're too one-dimensional. And I think, as I said, everybody's worked us out far too quickly because we're so rigid in this formation, and we don't allow the players, like Robert said, we don't allow them to play to their own potential and with freedom, because they're so hell bent on this formation, and you got to play this way, and you got to pass this way, you got to make this run this way. Oh, let them go. And these are the guys that get you in the your seats. These are the guys who pay my season ticket money and my ticket money to go and watch, to excite us. But it's just far too one-dimensional, guys. And the sooner we get a settled team where we know who our number one left is, we know who our number one centre forward is, we know who our number one right guy is. When they start to gel and the understanding grows, that's when you see it. But we are miles off that the new mate, because I don't think Russell Martin still knows his strongest 11, and that's throughout the squad. Even his spine, I still don't see who the spine of your team is, as in, right, maybe Butland's nailed down the keeper at the moment, right? But I still don't see, is Giga and Suter, are they your two for going forward for the rest of the season? Raskin and Rothwell, who's the number 6 and who's the number 8? Still haven't worked out yet. And then who's our number 9? Who's going to be the guy that's going to, is Dessers staying? Is Dessers going? We still don't know. There's lots of doubts, Gary, in the team. Albeit there's lots of doubts that we don't know who's going to be there to stay there for the fight, or are they there for the fight, or they're not there for the fight. And then, as I says, the wingers, I've seen it happens all the time in Europe, where you'll see the left back's not getting any, the left mid's not getting any change out their right back. So I've seen managers going like, look, let's switch, and we'll change it up, and it gives the defender another something to think about, right? So is he going to go outside? Is he going to come in and have a shot? But just far too rigid on his formation, and I think that's one of Russell Martin's biggest problems. And it seems to be like a stubbornness. Like it's my ball, and you're not playing. And if you don't play to my instruction, and you don't play to the way I tell you, you'll soon find yourself out of the team. And that's the way that's the way he's coming across to me, guys. And that, for me, that's a problem, because then the players are scared to go and express themselves. And then the fact that you're playing for Rangers, I think our fans aren't helping. See that booing the other night, guys? Right, they got booed, and rightly so, right? They got booed. But if fans think that helps players getting booed like that, the Keir Dowell thing, where they get booed even for coming on, you know what I mean? For me, guys, that's not on. That's not on. That's not how we support a team. And that doesn't help players at all. It just didn't help players. I just think we need to be. I kept saying it pre-season, guys. I did. I've talked to you about it at work, and I've spoke to you all, Bear, as well on the show. This is going to be a slow burner. I don't know why fans thought this was going to be, the Americans are taking over. We're going to get loads of money thrown at the club. We're going to buy this. We're going to buy that. And Russell Martin's going, it's going to go. Everything's going to be all rosy. The tactics are going to work. Are they delusional? Because I've never seen a team, very rarely have you seen a team put together and have an immediate, effect. It took Man City 5 years. It took Man City 5 years to get the right manager when they got Guardiola, and it took him, I think, almost into his third season before he really started to show what Man City were going about.
And over £1 billion spent.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. Now we don't need to spend that amount of money, albeit in Scotland, to get to their level. Because in my opinion, I don't think they're any great shakes, and they're in a bit of a state themselves at the moment, and we're not capitalising on that, albeit, and that's a frustrating part for me. Said it on the show the other night. This could be the season if this continues. The two Edinburgh clubs, and if Aberdeen continue the way they're going, this could be the season that the Edinburgh clubs and maybe Aberdeen split the Old Firm and stop this.
See, we're sitting fifth in the league, I think, at the moment, aren't we? And I'll tell you right now, the standard of football we're playing and the way we're playing, that's about a fair reflection of where we should be in the league. And if we keep it up, we might even go lower than that. But one of the big concerning things that I think he doesn't know what he's doing is when he knows and sees that we're wide open and he's doing nothing about that. I mean, the corner kicks is one thing, but open play, we don't even look we're falling apart. We just look we're a five-a-side team at times when teams are attacking us. You're going, well, this is like an 11-a-side team attacking a five-a-side team. We just go, where's the players? Where are we? We're all over the place, mate. We're big spaces all over Ibrox, and teams are just exploiting it. It's not that difficult. And you don't really need to be Alloa. I'm no being cheeky about Alloa, but their calibre of player is not the best in the world, is it? But they just strolled through Ibrox, no problem, and found all the space in the world, and they were firing boys all over the place. No, that's my concern, mate. That's when I suspect Martin doesn't know what he's doing. because you say, come on, you need to sort that. You can't get away. You know you're not going to get away. Even the worst manager in the world knows he's not going to get away with that. But they just what do you call it? They just continue to do it. It's mental. It's absolutely mental, mate. And I'm there looking at them and saying, do you actually know what you're doing? And see that clown you've got as your defensive coach, does he know what he's doing?
You know what I mean? Some of them guys do it.
He's an amateur.
Yeah. I mean, some of the players that have been at Alloa, for example, some of them guys have full-time jobs, out working all week, maybe joiners, plumbers, farming, whatever it may be, and they can still manage to get up and play against arguably, one of the top teams in Scotland, and that's another thing that concerns me. Like he keeps saying about fight and aggressive and run more and all this carry on. Can you guys be honest and say if we outfought anybody this season?
Nope.
Have we? I mean, let's
Nope.
be honest. I've not seen it, and we've played Motherwell, Dundee, and Alloa. Right? I'm just going by the Scottish teams here, and as I said, no disrespect to Alloa, but they've got guys that go out there, as I say, and they've got a 47-hour week, and they go to training probably 3 times a week, and then they come to Ibrox and say, we're having a go here. What happened to Fortress Ibrox? We have to fortify Ibrox and make it a scary place to come. And until that happens, big statement here, guys, until that happens, I kind of see an improvement. And by the end of September, if it's not improved, and we find ourselves, say St Mirren beat us, and we find ourselves 12 points behind, and still in 5th position, or bottom 6, maybe even up to 6th position, his jacket's on a sugar peg, and I don't care what anybody says. But do I think the Americans will change it because they're stuck with Thelwell? I think they'll stick it out, boys, and I think we'll be in for a rough ride this season. What's your thoughts on that, boys?
Well, my thoughts, mate, if they do that, then you'll be seeing a half-full Ibrox, as much as they boys have paid their money up front for a season ticket. Folk, I think, we're already seeing they're putting their season ticket on seat sub and all the rest of it, so that's telling you what their thoughts are already on that. You know what I mean? And I'll let you take it to Albury Airport with your question, and then I'll come back in, because we've got to ask you about St Mirren game, since we've got about 10 minutes left. So, Albury, you can jump in and
Well,
put point there.
That might be a financial fly move, by the way, that the Americans are doing, because see, if you're putting your season ticket on seat sub, they'll make more money selling it that way than they will a season ticket. Do you know that? See all the spare tickets or the non-season ticket seats, they make more money out of these seats per seat than the day with a season ticket holder holding a seat. And that's a fact of life, mate. And if we play that bad, everybody wins their season tickets, and then they resell them out to just people who have no got the season tickets on the seats, so they'll make more money. So it might be a cute move, mate. Anyway, seriously, St Mirren, are we going to beat St Mirren as we played last night or Tuesday night? No chance. Lucky you got a draw, mate. That's the way I see it.
How would you change it up, Albert? Like, so you're manager for the day. How would you?
4-4-2, mate. They need to change the formation. They need to solidify the defence. They need to really solidify that defence, mate. They need to get every bit of help they can get. You need to get and try and hit them on the break with your two fast players, and then as Asagard as well.
Aye, that's what I was going to say. Like, so after the top of your head, who do you think is going to start then?
Well, I picked my team as Butland. Don't care who's right back. Don't care who's centre backs. Don't care who's left back. Midfield, don't care. Up front, the centre forward, don't care. Gasman and Ant-Man on the wings. I'm telling you, that's what I think of a team. I'm going, I don't really care who's on these positions, because nobody's playing well, and they're all playing instructions, and some of them are in wrong positions, and it's completely a mess. It's a mess, mate. But the only three that I say can actually do it and are playing reasonably well. Ant-Man's a wee bit different, because he got a wee bit lost there in Tuesday night, is Butland, Ant-Man and Gasman. The rest of them are all just as much, mate. There's just going through the motions, and they're not
Shots
playing
are up for grabs.
They're not playing their position they're in. I'm not saying it's their position, but they're not playing their position that they're in well. They're just no. It's not. It's just a non-functioning team. It's just all over the shop, all over the place. So how he's going to get that to come good, I don't know. And if he does get it come to good, you need to go to yourself, well, why wasn't it good at the start? Why has it took 8 games of utter drivel to get this right? Because that's an all-time low, that first half in against Bruges. That was all right, against the team. But the Panathinaikos home and away wasn't good. The hour against Victoria or Pleasance, the first hour in Ibrox was all right. The rest of the tie was a disaster, mate. Total disaster. The Bruges game was a disaster. And the Motherwell game was a disaster. The Dundee game was a disaster. So you go, so what's going to change on Sunday? What is he going to do by getting booed off the part that they did on Tuesday to Sunday? What are they actually going to do to change all this? Haven't a clue, mate. Haven't a clue. I don't think he's got a clue, mate, at the point.
Ask Port. Port, what they got there?
Like, honestly, I'd like to see with Giga and boy Fernandez. I would have the wing backs Aaron's on the right, and I don't know if is he still there? Is he not still there? Left back. Yeah, is Jeffy away, guys? He's no. Then he's not. Yes,
he's away. He's away, mate.
Is he gone?
Aye.
$6 million
$6.5
bucks to us.
Right. So, who's the left backs now then? Who have we got? I know he played the other night, but
no, the new boy. It was playing.
Oh, sorry, Magoma. Sorry. Yeah. So Magoma, I'd have him on the left wing back. I'd have Raskin, Rothwell, and I would play sort of like, instead of wide players, I would ask Gasman and Ant-Man to be like wingers, but come inside, and then I would have, if Dessers makes it, because I'm led to believe he could make it, I would have Dessers probably still as the number 9 up front. So basically a 3-5-2. So we obviously have 2 wing backs, can get up and down, and obviously they that's where your width's coming from. That would allow, as I say, Ant-Man and Gasman to come inside and probably get closer and link up with Dessers, and then your midfield would then be able to link up with Gasman, Ant-Man, but obviously your wing backs going beyond and providing the width, and therefore you basically effectively have Dessers, Ant-Man, and Gasman on that box, overloading to make sure there's plenty of boys in the box for the chances. I think that's how drastic a change is needed, mate, because the teams, the fact they've figured out how we play under Russell Martin's plan A. So I think he has to stop this stubbornness and this, it's my way or the highway, and totally change it. So I go with 3 at the back, like I says, your 3 centre backs of Suter, Giga, Fernandez, Magoma on left, Aaron's right, Rothwell and Raskin, Asgard, Gasman, Ant-Man, and Dessers. That's where I'd play it, guys. Albert, what do you think?
On paper, mate, again, there's talent throughout, mate, and there's a team there that can do it. There's a team there I do believe is better than St Mirren, but I'll pour cold water on the point question that was answered there. I don't think he will. I think he's that stubborn that he's going to go with it again. And like I says, he'll mend them. So we've reached that kind of time, boys.
Sorry, guys. When does that? One wee question, guys.
You'll get your final thoughts. Don't worry. You'll get your final thoughts. I'll wait to go Albert first.
Cheers, mate.
Final thoughts, Albert.
I enjoyed the show with yourself and Port. Interesting points that every Rangers fan's made. We're not saying anything dramatically new or coming up with solutions or anything like that. We're all asking the same questions. We're all watching the same crap, and we're all scratching our head. All the Rangers support doing now is hope, mate. It's just hope now, because we don't see any way out of this. No quick fix anyway. And that's game to game. I'm not even talking about the overall. I'm just talking game to game. So you're looking at Sunday's game and you're saying, what's it going to do different? And as you pointed out, probably nothing. Anyway, thanks for having me, guys.
Cheers, mate. Port Bear, final thoughts and your point, mate. Port.
Aye, mate, thanks for having us on. See, Brisbane, they better stop touching my buttons. See, it's so up, man. So he is. No,
now you've left everybody hanging with this point. Tell me the point before you go, or else I'll be sleeping on it.
Aye, no, my point is, look, when does it get to the point where Russell Martin's stubbornness, and this is what I'm putting it down to, when does it get to the point where his stubbornness starts to look like sheer stupidity? Because if he's not, we can't be the only people out there that's on podcasts, phone-in shows, talking about all this. There must surely they can see the exact same stuff inside Ibrox, whether it be players, coaching staff, Kevin Thelwell, upstairs. When does it get to the point where the guy starts to look like he's not got a clue and starts to look stupid? That's my worry, mate. Because like I said earlier on, because he's going to fall on his own sword. If he continues this, mate, he's going to fall on his own sword, and there'll be no other option but the guy goes.
Agree. Right, boys, it's been a pleasure. It is that time. I actually run there, so Fox will be shouting and bawling at me. But thanks for listening, everybody across the socials. Big thanks to yourself, Old Bear. We keeping us in a level-headed place, mate. Port, thanks for
Don't over that.
Port, thanks for your tactical input, mate. And big thanks to Techie boys in the background. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night, talk about all things Glasgow Rangers. Good night.